On August 16, 1942, a U.S. Navy blimp drifted into Daly City, scraped across rooftops, tore down power lines, and finally came to rest in the middle of a neighborhood. The gondola door swung open in the wind, yet the radio transmitter was left switched on. Both parachutes remained safely tucked inside their clips, but the two pilots who took off that morning were completely gone. More than 80 years later, Navy historical records still describe the crew's fate as unresolved. This is the story of the L-8 airship, an incident the public eventually came to call the Ghost Blimp. What happened to its crew remains a mystery. This didn't start as a mystery. It started as just another Sunday morning during a war. It's August 1942. America's been in World War II for less than a year, and California's coastline is on edge. A few months earlier, a Japanese submarine shelled an oil field near Santa Barbara. It was the first attack on American soil since the War of 1812. So now the Navy's got blimps patrolling the coast around the clock, watching for enemy subs. Cody was 27, a Naval Academy graduate and an experienced airship pilot. Adams was 34 and had spent more than a decade in the Navy. He had been commissioned as an officer only days earlier. Neither man had a reputation for panic, recklessness, or desertion. L-8 itself was an experienced aircraft with a history that included delivering critical equipment to the USS Hornet right before the famous Doolittle raid. Lifting off from Treasure Island at 6:03 a.m., the crew set out for a routine patrol out past the Farallon Islands. Around 7:50 a.m., their voices crackled over the base radio with a brief update. They had spotted an oil slick about 4 miles off the coast of Ocean Beach. There was no panic in the message, just a standard check-in. Nobody knew it at the time, but those would be the final words ever heard from Flight 101. When 9:30 a.m. rolled around and L-8 missed its scheduled check-in, the base started to worry. Search planes went up immediately. High above the clouds, a pilot spotted the airship drifting and sagging, clearly not under full control, before it plunged back into the heavy fog and vanished. Down on the water, the blimp came down low near Fort Funston. Two surf fishermen ran toward the crashing shadow, grabbing the tie lines to hold it down. Peering into the gondola, they realized nobody was home. The blimp tore free from their hands, drifted over the cliffs, and kept going. It floated right over the city of San Francisco, dragging its deflating gas bag like a wounded animal. One witness later described it to a local newspaper as looking like a big broken wiener. For the next hour, hundreds of people stood in the streets watching this crewless airship sag across the sky. People took photos, and police on the ground actively tried to confiscate the film. Finally, at 11:15 a.m., it crashed onto Bellevue Avenue in Daly City. Emergency crews rushed the wreckage, fully expecting to pull two wounded men from the tight cabin. Instead, they stepped into an impossible puzzle. The radio transmitter was still humming, though the battery had completely exhausted itself. The parachutes were untouched in their clips. Their yellow life jackets were missing, but that was completely normal, as crews always wore them during overwater patrols. A 325-pound depth bomb was still attached to the structure, while a second one had broken loose over the city and landed, undetonated, on a golf course. There was no sign of a struggle, no fire, and no airframe failure. It looked like two men had simply stepped out into thin air, hundreds of feet above the ocean. That wasn't the only contradiction. The extensive Navy investigation that followed quickly ran into a dead end because the physical evidence refused to make sense. The squadron commander pushed a straightforward accident theory. One pilot may have leaned too far out of the open door to drop a smoke marker over the oil slick, slipping into the water. The second pilot, trying to pull his partner back in, went overboard with him. It was a clean, logical explanation, but it was impossible to prove. Patrol boats and dozens of eyewitnesses were staring at that exact patch of ocean all morning, yet not a single person saw anyone fall from the sky. Then, the case took an unexpected turn as wartime rumors took over. People whispered about a Japanese submarine surfacing silently to capture the officers, though investigators found absolutely no evidence of enemy contact. Others accused the men of desertion, an idea instantly rejected by anyone who knew the flawless military records of both pilots. But if the official military channels were confused, public accounts on the ground only fractured the timeline further. Witness testimony split the investigation down the middle. One woman riding horseback swore she used binoculars and saw 3 men inside the gondola late in its flight. Other onlookers insisted the cabin was entirely empty from the moment it hit the shore. Still others claimed they saw figures parachuting out over the open sea. These reports clashed completely, leaving investigators with zero reliable ground data. While the public debated the rumors, 2 families were left waiting. Both Cody and Adams were married. Somewhere in California, 2 women were spending a normal Sunday, waiting for their husbands to return from what the Navy considered a routine patrol. Instead, they got a knock on the door, and a search that would never yield answers. A year later, on August 17, 1943, the Navy officially declared both men dead. No bodies ever washed ashore, no wallets, no boots, no dog tags were ever recovered. The ocean simply never gave them back. Most unsolved mysteries become less mysterious when you examine the evidence. L-8 becomes stranger. This was a case with an intact aircraft, a working transmitter, and unusually extensive contemporary documentation. Yet nobody has ever been able to explain those final minutes. History recorded where the blimp landed. It never recorded where the men went. 2 men fell overboard, were captured, or encountered something nobody saw. Which explanation makes the most sense to you? Leave your theory below. And if you're the kind of person who needs answers, wait till you see what the government did to an entire American city on purpose just 8 years later. That video is right there on your screen. Follow the Ink Vault. We go where the others don't.